And Hawks lose 4-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. This game was a loss due to the fact depth is not a thing with the Blackhawks tonight, as the injury bug or the flu bug is going through the locker room. Tyler Johnson, before the game, was pulled out of the lineup because of something. Then Patrick Kane, going into the third period, pulled out of the game because medical issues. So the Hawks are down two forwards in tonight's action. Caleb Jones was playing as a winger in tonight's game, and the Hawks were able to break a long streak, but it still doesn't matter. The Hawks were clearly the worst team by paper in this game. This game was a closer game than the score showed. It was. Power play, the Hawks went 1 for 5, not so good on the power play, but they were able to score on it. And the Lightning were able to go 1 for 4, and it's by a former Blackhawk, as you may know. Faceoffs 55.7% for the Hawks, 43% for the Lightning. Shots on goal 29-26 in favor for the Lightning. Hits 18-11 for the Hawks. Shots per period 12-6 for the Hawks in the first, 13-6 for the Lightning in the second, and 10-8 for the Lightning in the third. Total shots on goal again 28-26. It was a close game, as I said, but the lack of depth for the Hawks is a problem. The lack of health on the Hawks is a problem. The lack of trying to score a goal is a main issue. This team does not score much. It's a problem throughout the season. They average about 1.25 goals per game this season, which isn't a good stat at all. But they have been, in the last 3 games, scoring first, but they're losing when scoring first. So here we go. In this game, the only goal for the Hawks came off the power play, and it breaks a long streak. The last time the Hawks have scored a power play goal came by a defenseman came May 1st, 2021. Yes, that shortened season, the Hawks scored their last power play goal by a defenseman. That ends tonight, as in this game, the Hawks get on the board first. They get an early power play, and they were able to capitalize on it. At 4:50 in the first period, scored by number 4, Steph Jones. His second of the season. Assisted by number 11, Taylor Radish. And number 13, Max Domi. This goal was a weird one. Jones is a blue liner. He decided to skate right into the crease of the Lightning, get right there, set his stick down. He tips in a shot from Domi, and the Hawks have a goal from a defenseman on a power play. Hasn't happened in a long time. And we see it, and I believe the last defenseman to do that was number 2, Duncan Keith. And yeah, and Keith is now retired. That's something to note. But the Hawks get on the board first. They can't hold the lead. Tampa gets an opportunity. They were balancing more in the second period. In the first period was pretty much the Blackhawks controlling play. But in the first period, Tampa does get on the board at 11:24 in the first period by Patrick Maroon, his second of the season, assisted by Victor Hedman, to make it 1-1 game out of it. And it stayed that way going into the third. But in the second, Tampa was buzzing. The Hawks were stuck on the heels, can't get anything going. Tampa was just putting chance after chance on. Hagel had a chance to make it 2-1, and he eventually does get on the board, but we'll get into it later. But Hagel had a wide open net, and he rang it off the pipe. Stalock made some big saves, keeping the Hawks in it, and we go to the third period, where just at the end of the second, the Hawks were buzzing and had a few chances they weren't able to do anything with. So we go to the third, down where it's 1-1. It's a tie, one apiece against the Tampa Bay Lightning. This team is tanking. The Tampa Bay Lightning are a contender. That is unexpected, but the Lightning being the Lightning, they take advantage of a short bench on the Hawks, and well, at 7-11 in the third period, Alex Kaloran from Brandon Hagel to make it 2-1 Tampa Bay. This was a weird goal for Kaloran as he gets kind of taken down and he ends up beating Stalock. It's a 2-1 game. Then shortly after that, Brandon Hagel gets on the board at 10:14 on the power play. Brandon Hagel, the former Blackhawk, gets his 15th of the season, assisted by Point and Stamkos. Man, I wish Hagel was still on the Hawks, especially since Boris Kachuk is terrible, but Taylor Radish has been okay for the Hawks, but man, it would be nice to see the Bagel still with the Hawks, and it's not a thing. So Hagel gets on the board, and then a few later on, the Hawks get a power play with just 2 minutes remaining, and they give up a shorthanded goal with the empty net open, and that was Nick Paul with his 14th of the season by Belmar and Hedman, shorthanded, empty net goal. It's 4-1 Tampa, and that's the game. So this game was a rough game. Hawks' lack of depth doesn't help. Hawks' lack of scoring doesn't help. And, well, it's against a team that's a contender versus a team that's a rebuilder. What do you expect? I was expecting the Hawks to actually get absolutely blown out of this game, and they really weren't. That was something shocking from this game. Down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's action, and thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, I get it, we're tanking, but man, it would be nice to win a game. Let's go Hawks.